Class A, Class C, mobbing through your city and we mob D. Trunk full of work in the back seat, on the front lines in the back street. Yeah, we riding for the nation, getting in for the nation. Yeah, we riding for the nation. Muhammad, that's the occupation. I'm a 54 baby, 27 they raised me. Brought up in the 80s, found narcotic and days. Mr. Trip on the agent, run up on him and fade him. No love for a hypocrite, 187 on stage. MOY is the army, but he had a navy. Suit and ties the garment, hella wavy. Recruiting, ready in the land shooting. Airing out the ones like a Black Panther. On my Cam Newton, on the corners getting bands up. Work fly, work trying us, suicide, Kirk up. Squad ain't for test unless you ready, see the Lord, homie. We bout that star and crescent flag with the sword on it. Class A, Class C, mobbing through your city and we mob D. Trunk full of work in the back seat, on the front lines in the back streets. Yeah, we riding for the nation, getting in for the nation. Yeah, we riding for the nation. Muhammad, that's the occupation.
Swimming J-O-E, moving like Moses in my Levi. Old school and coasters.
Class A, Class C, mobbing through your city and we mob D. Trunk full of work in the back seat, on the front lines in the back street. Yeah, we riding for the nation, getting in for the nation. Yeah, we riding for the nation. Muhammad, that's the occupation. I'm a 54 baby, 27 they raised me. Brought up in the 80s, found narcotic and days. Mr. Trip on the agent, run up on him and fade him. No love for a hypocrite, 187 on stage. MOY is the army, but he had a navy. Suit and ties the garment, hella wavy. Recruiting, ready in the land shooting. Airing out the ones like a Black Panther. On my Cam Newton, on the corners getting bands up. Work fly, work trying us, suicide, Kirk up. Squad ain't for test unless you ready, see the Lord, homie. We bout that star and crescent flag with the sword on it. Class A, Class C, mobbing through your city and we mob D. Trunk full of work in the back seat, on the front lines in the back streets. Yeah, we riding for the nation, getting in for the nation. Yeah, we riding for the nation. Muhammad, that's the occupation.
Swimming J-O-E, moving like Moses in my Levi. Old school and coasters, Adidas. We fly, Abdul-Jabbar knee-highs. Used to pass up 42 on 17th in the G-Ride. In that old school Nelly, E.I. Go Jesus, G high, East side. Introduced to the truth, now I'm all in. May I enter Muhammad's rank, fall in. FOI manual, blessed with fresh boat from Bro Daniel. Stacy boots, no sandals. Pushing truth, no scandal. Hopping out coops, no camels. Concrete junk, sounding off trumpets by the park bench. Bunch of black Clark Kents out of dark tents. Max Paul, Muhammad, Farrakhan's, Elijah's, FOI riders, nation.
Class A, Class C, mobbing through your city and we mob D. Trunk full of work in the back seat, on the front lines in the back street. Yeah, we riding for the nation, getting in for the nation. Yeah, we riding for the nation. Muhammad, that's the occupation.
The N-A-T-I-O-N-O-F-I-S-L-A-M flow.
I warn you, in the name of the two that back me, Imam Mahdi and Al-Masih the Messiah. The Quran says, had we wished to take a pastime before ourselves, we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth and falsehood till we knock out its brains. So all of us who want change,
Class A, Class C, mobbing through your city and we mob D. Trunk full of work in the back seat, on the front lines in the back streets. Yeah, we riding for the nation, getting in for the nation. Yeah, we riding for the nation. Muhammad, that's the occupation. I'm a 54 baby, 27 they raised me. Brought up in the 80s, found narcotic and days. Mr. Trip on the agent, run up on him and fade him. No love for a hypocrite, 187 on stage. MOY is the army, but he had a navy. Suit and ties, the garment, hella wavy. Recruiting, ready in the land, shooting. Airing out the ones like a Black Panther. On my Cam Newton, on the corners getting bands up. Work fly, work flying up, suicide. Kirk up. Why they protest unless you ready, see the Lord, homie. We bout that star and crescent flag with the sword on it. Class A, Class C. Mobbing through your city and we mob D. Trunk full of work in the back seat. On the front lines in the back streets. Yeah. We riding for the nation. Get it in for the nation. Yeah. Yeah, we riding for the nation. Muhammad, that's the occupation.
Swinging J-O-E, moving like Moses in my Levi. Old school and coasters, Adidas. We fly, Abdul-Jabbar knee-highs. Used to pass up 42 on 17th in the G-Ride. In that old school Nelly. E.I. Go Jesus, G.G. High, East Side. Introduced to the truth, now I'm all in. May I enter Muhammad's rank, fall in. FOI manual, blessed with fresh boat from Bro Daniel. Stacy boots, no sandals, pushing truth, no scandal. Hopping out coops, no camels. Concrete junk, sounding off trumpets by the park bench. Bunch of black park Kents out of dark tents. Max Paul, Muhammad, Farrakhan's, Elijah's, FOI riders, nation.
Class A, Class C, mobbing through your city and we mob D. Trunk full of work in the back seat, on the front lines in the back streets. Yeah, we riding for the nation, get it in for the nation. Yeah, yeah, we riding for the nation. Muhammad, that's the occupation.
The N-A-T-I-O-N-F-I-S-L-A-M flow. Everywhere I go, everywhere I'm at. That's the title, so it's vital that I carry that. Asking my rider, yeah, I'm very that. Maybe too much of it. Haters can't compare to that, and baby, you just love it. Can't get enough of it. Hustles in the fruit quotes. And trying to see my muscles through the suit coat. Yeah, ain't no glucose, that ain't what this fruit mean. Foes get too close, you gon' see the routine. Suit a blue jean, brother, stay too clean. Ballin' with the final call, and I don't need a hoop dream. More like an 85 vision, 10K into the fullest in the hood where the bullets whiz. It's understood in the prison and the streets. We living in the last day, so we gotta bring the heats in the
Class A, Class C, mobbing through your city and we mob D. Trunk full of work in the back seat, on the front lines in the back streets. Yeah, we riding for the nation, get it in for the nation. Yeah, yeah, we riding for the nation. Muhammad, that's the occupation.
I warn you, in the name of the two that back me, Imam Mahdi and Al-Masih the Messiah. The Quran says, had we wished to take a pastime before ourselves, we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth and falsehood till we knock out its brains. So all of us who want change, if we are too cowardly to write the truth, too cowardly to speak the truth, too cowardly to live for the truth, and too cowardly to die for the establishment of the truth, then you're too cowardly to have the sneer removed from you.
Assalamu alaikum, family. This your brother Malcolm Flex. Back with another exclusive. Your brother had to try to work on getting this audio together. You know, the audio wasn't all the way right, so I had to kind of run this back for y'all. You know what I mean? We got real going on. We got cats like Tommy Sotomayor. You know what I'm saying? Coming after the Nation of Islam, coming after the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. But I hope y'all like that exclusive song. That was from my brothers, Young Blood, Technique, and West Coast Camp. You know what I'm saying? Riding for the nation. You know what I'm saying? I had to kind of put that demo down for y'all, let y'all know how we rocking the nation. You know, we riding for the nation. You feel me? We gonna represent all day, every day. You know, this video right here specifically to the critics, you know, all in the videos, you know, and they trying to cast doubt and suspicion for for the people against the Nation of Islam, family. You know, I don't want this to be long. You know, I was just really testing the audio, but you know, I see that you checking in, so I am going to drop some jewels on you right quick. I'm going to drop some jewels on you right fast, dear family. So go ahead and check these clips out. You know what I'm saying? That we're going to present real hardcore evidence for you, the viewers. So check out our brother Dr. Ben and revealing why Malcolm X was really upset with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Because if you have children, okay, and you have two children, okay, and one of them said, you know, Daddy Pookie broke the vase, okay, and you just go straight and just whoop your child without ever asking the child, you know, okay, how did the vase get broke? Why did you break the vase? Okay, so you gonna when the truth finally come out that you know that the other child pushed Pookie into the vase and broke the vase, you're gonna feel like the other child basically lied to you because he or she withheld information that was valuable. Same thing that brother Malcolm X did. You know, he withheld information that was valuable to the people. So he never really told the people why he was upset with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But our brother Dr. Ben, may Allah be pleased with him, the late great Dr. Ben revealed that brother Malcolm X was really upset with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad over a sister named Sister Evelyn. She was definitely one of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's secretaries, but she was dating brother Malcolm when Malcolm first came into the ranks, into the Nation of Islam. But instead of marrying Sister Evelyn, he ended up marrying Sister Betty Shabazz, and that devastated Sister Evelyn. So let me go ahead and show you some footage.
Yes, it's like the Mormons. The Mormons can't be regular polygamists because the United States don't recognize two wives at the same time. But they can have church weddings, and they do have church weddings, where I could marry you in the church, 3 women in the church. The state can't do nothing, but I can't marry 3 women in Utah from the state. Because the United States has said, by virtue of court decision, no polygamy. When Wallace said that Elijah had the intercourse with Malcolm's girlfriend and she had gotten a child for his father, that's when the thing started. As to whether or not anything else happened, that's the first time, and it remained dominant in Malcolm's mind. That the minister had lost his trust. He had lost his trust in the minister when the minister did that. He forget not that. When Wallace said that Elijah had the intercourse with Malcolm's girlfriend and she had gotten a child for his father, that's when the thing started. As to whether or not anything else happened, that's the first time, and it remained dominant in Malcolm's mind. That the minister had lost his trust. He had lost his trust in the minister when the minister did that. He forget not that.
Assalamu alaikum, this is your brother Malcolm Flex, and we back with another exclusive. With this one, I just wanted to clear the name of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the Nation of Islam, because there's a lot of rumors going around, you know, that was inspired by the enemy, the FBI, the CIA, because there's a battle over the hearts and minds of the people. But we have these same pseudo-scholars in the black community going around repeating and regurgitating the same lies and propaganda that is told by our enemy concerning our dear brother Malcolm X, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the Nation of Islam. Okay? But what these so-called scholars, these pseudo-scholars failed to tell you, I don't know if they don't know and just didn't do the research, or they are lying intentionally, but they failed to tell the people why brother Malcolm was really upset with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I just got through playing a clip for you by our dear brother Dr. Ben, revealing why he thinks Malcolm was really upset with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I was dealing with our Sister Evelyn, who was the wife of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Sister Evelyn came into the Nation of Islam with Brother Malcolm. They were boyfriend and girlfriends, okay? But Malcolm X did not marry Sister Evelyn. Instead, he chose Sister Betty Shabazz. And after Brother Malcolm married Sister Betty Shabazz, Sister Evelyn was devastated. Therefore, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad ended up making her one of his wives, and they had a child together, and that enraged and infuriated Brother Malcolm X. So I will reveal and read a letter written by Brother Malcolm revealing his domestic life to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So here's the documentation that I'm about to read. I won't read the whole thing because it's 5 pages long, but I will read the important parts that are necessary in this context, okay? So I'm going to open in the name of Allah, but I'm going to skip down to the 2nd and 3rd paragraphs, and then I'm going to skip to the 3rd paragraph on the 2nd page. Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, to whom all praise is due, whom we forever thank for giving us the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Okay, we'll skip down to the 2nd paragraph. Brother said, I did not give you all the facts on my domestic affairs. You once told me that you judge according to the facts presented to you. And not all of us do that. We have that problem. Ain't that right? But let's continue. Thinking that as a man, a Muslim, and as a minister, that I was automatically responsible to blame for whatever condition my domestic affairs had fallen to. I in no way said anything at any time to make my wife look bad or to make her look to blame. But in attempting to carry the complete load with no explanation whatsoever of what made me act as I have, I now see would be doing myself some injustice. I have never made love to Sister Lucille nor to Minister Robert's sister, Betty Sue. I did propose marriage to Sister Betty Sue, but never made love to her. Nor do I think that I ever even told her that I loved her. My proposal was governed by a suggestion to me. Okay, let me continue. She was physically young, strong, near my height, looked something like me, and seemed to be able to produce children that would be strong and resemble us both. Plus, she seemed intelligent and had training qualifications that could be helpful to me in my work. And she was the darkest of the three. She, Betty Sue, and Evelyn. And I don't go too much for real light women as a wife. So there's actual documentation showing where Brother Malcolm X was revealing his domestic life to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, okay? And he's explaining to him why he didn't want to marry Sister Evelyn and he chose Sister Betty Shabazz, okay? So I'm going to show you a video of our dear Sister Evelyn, who was married to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Sister Evelyn, would you just say a quick word? We only have 10 minutes on the satellite.
Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, I just want to say that all the years that I worked with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad before he asked me to be his wife, there was never any kind of out-of-turn words, no sexual harassment. He treated us with the highest form of dignity and respect. When he came to me and asked me to be his wife, he sat down, as our beloved Brother Minister Farrakhan said, and opened the Holy Quran to the place where it dealt with the wives. He loved his wife, Sister Clara Muhammad, and his children. But he he said Allah was forcing him to do this for future generations. There's much I could say, but I want you to know that he was an honorable man. He is an honorable man.
Islam. And so dear family, that sister was Sister Evelyn Muhammad. That was the sister whom our dear brother Malcolm came into the nation with. That was his girlfriend. So when just as Dr. Ben was explaining, you know, when our dear brother chose Sister Betty Shabazz and married her over Sister Evelyn, she ended up marrying the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and they had a child together. And that's what upset Brother Malcolm X. That's the information that the brother was withholding. That's what, you know, so I have an issue with people like Tommy Sotomayor who have an issue. Peace, Brother Derek Moore. Yes, sir, we love you too, beloved, and we appreciate you. Yes, yes, ma'am. I'm doing a live right now. I had to redo this live, Sister Dr. M.R. Moriel, because my audio, I had to master my audio because I had a heavy echo the last video, so I wanted to do this video again. But and explain, because we got people like Dr. Tommy Sotomayor, you know what I'm saying, is constantly throwing dirt on the minister's name. We got a lot of people spitting on the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, but I got to call out the hypocrisy, you know what I mean, where Brother Malcolm was wrong, you know what I mean. Everybody quick to point fingers at the messenger and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, but we also can't have double standards. We also can't turn a blind eye to Brother Malcolm's fault. Brother made some mistakes as well. You know what I mean? So let's move forward, you know. And if you're gonna come at Minister Farrakhan and blame him, Tommy Sotomayor, Sara Suten Seti, and young Pharoah, then damn, why don't y'all ever bring up Thomas Hagen, the actual trigger man who admitted to killing Brother Malcolm X? Why don't y'all ever do no videos on Thomas Hagen, the man who admitted to killing Brother Malcolm? Why don't y'all ever do any videos talking about Gene, the FBI agent that was with Brother Malcolm? Okay, I can't think of the brother's name right now, but I'm definitely going to show who the brother is. Hold on 1 second and watch this clip.
In prison at this moment are 3 men serving life terms for murder, but 2 of those men may be innocent. The man who acknowledges he committed the crime says the other 2 had nothing to do with it. The man who was murdered was one of the most charismatic figures of the civil rights movement of the 60s, shot down in New York City back in 1965. Who really killed him? Before long, it became apparent to those looking into his death that he had been gunned down by the black Muslims. Why the black Muslims? Malcolm had had a falling out with the leader of the black Muslims, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, a man deeply revered by his disciples. Malcolm had committed the unforgivable sin of charging that his former leader, Elijah Muhammad, was an adulterer, that he had fathered children with several of his female assistants. I talked with Malcolm about that back in 1964.
And how many of these illegitimate children did he father with the sisters?
Well, he made 6 sisters pregnant. They all had children. 2 of those 6 had 2 children. One of those 2 is having a child right now.
Malcolm was aware, even as he spoke, that
so the brother knew all this stuff. Why didn't he say that when he was in the nation?
If someone came to me and I had no knowledge whatsoever of what had taken place, and they told me what I'm saying, I would kill them myself.
Are you not, perhaps, afraid of what might happen to you as a result of making these revelations?
Oh yes, I probably.
He was a disgruntled member. That's what that was. The brother left. He was disgruntled.
And this is one of the men who killed him, Thomas Hagen, a New Jersey black Muslim sentenced to life in prison for murdering Malcolm X.
them that you knew?
No.
You would have recognized. You would have recognized.
Of course.
Well, these are the men who are in jail. The men who are in jail and have been in jail for killing Malcolm X for the last 17 years. For the last 17 years.
But they're innocent. They weren't here. They weren't here. They weren't sitting. They weren't sitting out here.
They're talking about Norman Butler.
Malcolm's friend.
His assistant.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did, brother. He went to the white media.
They were not sitting out here.
You knew these men. You knew these men.
They were not sitting. They were not sitting out here. They are not the men. They are not the men that killed Malcolm.
Benjamin Goodman's story may be a case of too little too late. He did not volunteer to testify at the trial 17 years ago. He says the bitterness between Malcolm's followers and Butler and Johnson scared him off. But neither was he called to testify by the defense lawyers. William Chance was Norman Butler's court-appointed lawyer. And he was convinced his client was innocent. I asked him if he had sought out Benjamin Goodman as a defense witness.
You know who he is? You know who he is?
No, I know.
Benjamin Goodman was an assistant minister to Malcolm, and he was the fellow who introduced Malcolm that day. And he now swears that Norman Butler, your client, was not in the Audubon Ballroom that day. Did you ever try to talk to Benjamin Goodman?
So Thomas Johnson and Norman Butler served 20 years in prison for nothing.
What effort, Mr. Chance, did you make to get this man off?
Mr. Echo?
Well, I investigated his case. I interviewed him.
So let me know if it's echo now, family.
I cross-examined the witnesses.
Press 1 if the echo went away. Press 2 if no.
Another important eyewitness was overlooked by the defense. Gene Roberts, an undercover police officer posing as a member of Malcolm's inner circle. He is pictured here giving Malcolm mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. He declined to talk to us on camera, and he wouldn't tell us whether he believes Butler and Johnson are guilty or innocent. But when we asked him why he hadn't testified at their trial, he simply said he hadn't been called to testify.
Did you try to talk to Gene Roberts on the stand?
I do not.
Okay, dear family. So what's going on? What's taking place at this point is you got Gene Roberts. Okay, he was an FBI agent, and he was doing security on Brother Malcolm X. And so what they were doing is you can go to Muck Rock. Okay, yes, sir. Thank you, beloved. You can go to the website called Muck Rock, MuckRock.com, and you can see the actual FBI files, the actual FBI documents where the FBI has memorandums, have memos. Basically, they were given authority by J. Edgar Hoover to wiretap and bug Malcolm X and do surveillance on the brother every single day. You can go to muckrock.com for this information proving that the FBI, not only they had surveillance on him, they knew exactly when the brother was leaving to Egypt and Arabia. Okay, they knew when he was leaving and when he was coming back to America. You know what I'm saying? The brother even told his family that he believed that he was being followed by the CIA and he was poisoned by the CIA and survived a few assassination attempts on his life overseas. Okay, this is facts. Okay, so I'm going to try to play this clip by Brother Dick Gregory. The audio was kind of messing up earlier, but I'm going to try to go ahead and play it for you all. But so you all can see that Thomas Hagen, the actual trigger man that killed Brother Malcolm X, admitted that the two brothers that they had in custody, Norman Butler and Thomas Johnson, they had, yes sir, brother, what he did say was true. But they had Norman Butler and Thomas Johnson in custody, and then both these men were innocent, but Thomas Hagen, the actual trigger man, admitted to them not being at the location, and he named 2-3 other suspects that were there, okay, that were not in the Nation of Islam. Okay, so the brothers who were in the Nation of Islam were actually innocent of Malcolm's death. So how is individuals saying that the Nation of Islam murdered Malcolm X? Okay, now Thomas Hagen was a member in the Nation. But just as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told everybody to stand down, don't harm Malcolm, leave Malcolm alone. So if Thomas Hagen broke rank, and if the brother killed Brother Malcolm, okay, then the brother acted alone. He acted on his own. He wasn't giving orders or instructions for the Nation of Islam. This individual was working by himself. And I'm going to prove it.
Been called to testify.
Did you try to talk to Gene Roberts on the stand?
I do not recall whether I ever talked to Gene Roberts or not, or who Gene Roberts is. I do not know who Gene Roberts is.
Isn't all of this material to an understanding? If you are defending a man on trial for his life,
that's right,
and there's an undercover copper there in the room, wouldn't you want to talk to him? Wouldn't you want to talk to Benjamin Goodman, who had faced the audience?
If I knew, or if I had heard that was an undercover, had any information leading to the fact that he was there.
But still you believe that you gave him an adequate defense?
I know that I did. I know that I did.
You just couldn't persuade the jury.
But I didn't persuade the jury. Let's put it that way.
And Thomas Hagen also failed to persuade the jury, in spite of his testimony halfway through the trial in 1966 that Butler and Johnson were innocent. I asked him why he didn't speak the truth about Butler and Johnson and name his true accomplices earlier.
I think that we all felt that there would be no chance.
So he basically admitted to what happened. This is the actual killer. According to his words, he did it.
They knew that they was not involved, and I think that they felt they had a tight defense. Really, I felt that way right on up until at one point in the trial. It became obvious that, hey, this thing is going in another direction.
You're saying that the witnesses who testified in court lied?
They definitely lied. Definitely lied.
But what about those eyewitnesses, the ones who convinced a jury 17 years ago that Johnson and Butler had taken part?
Check this stuff out. This is crazy.
2 witnesses are dead. 2 others, both with criminal records, we've not been
Come on, he said they definitely lied.
We were able to find 1 witness. In a courtroom that he asked be cleared of all spectators, this witness had sworn that Norman Butler was one of the men he saw running from the Audubon Ballroom here after the shooting. But that is not what he says today. The witness, who prefers not to be identified, declined to meet with us on camera. He said that he's afraid to get involved. But he does admit he did not actually see Norman Butler here at the scene of the assassination. And he now alleges the police lineup at which he identified Butler was contrived, a phony, a setup by members of the New York City Police Department. What about Thomas Johnson? This witness now says he knew Johnson well, and he's convinced Thomas Johnson was not here in the ballroom when Malcolm was killed. After all of this, one who spends time looking at the killing of Malcolm X is left with some puzzling questions. For instance, why was Benjamin Goodman, the man who introduced Malcolm X here, moments before he was shot, a man who knew both Johnson and Butler well, why was he never called to testify at their trial? Why was the defense never told there was a New York City undercover police officer present when the fatal shots were fired? And why was that police officer, an eyewitness, never called by prosecution lawyers who did know that he was in the ballroom?
J. Edgar Hoover's day, the FBI got a little crazy on the subject of black people. They had Elijah Muhammad under surveillance for at least 20, 25 years. They had Malcolm under surveillance for most of his public life. When I say surveillance, I'm talking about wiretaps, I'm talking about room bugs, I'm talking about infiltrators.
You were an undercover agent for the police. He didn't know then.
No, he didn't.
And you got in close, very close. He trusted you.
I would say yes.
Gene Roberts got so close that he became Malcolm X's bodyguard, even though he was really an undercover cop in the New York City Police Department.
Your job was to gather intelligence, to gather information.
Yes.
And the Bureau's mission was to keep tabs on potentially violent people?
Yes.
Why was Malcolm X considered a potentially violent, if not in fact violent person? Well,
In Nairobi on February 24th, 1960.
Yes, it's like the Mormons. The Mormons.
So family, the audio is tripping right now, and I had a portion for y'all where Dick Gregory talks about the actual setup, because the cop said when he reported to the Audubon Ballroom before the assassination attempt, and he said when he got there, it looked like a rehearsal of Malcolm X impending assassination. He said that's what he believed. Okay, but he said that he reported it as a dry run, and he said that he don't know what the Bureau did with it after, he said, all right, after he gave his report. But Brother Dick Gregory, if you find this video on YouTube, he describes how it was a staged event. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother Derek Moore. Brother William X. Bradley was involved, and I do have a clip from Thomas Hagen admitting to William Bradley's involvement. You know what I'm saying? I've just been I'm waiting to play it, but that's my point exactly, Brother Derek Moore. You know what I'm saying? It was not Thomas Norman. The Brother Norman, a.k.a. Khalil Islam, and it wasn't Thomas Johnson. Okay, it wasn't those two individuals. They were out of the Muhammad's Mosque number 7. But those brothers were innocent. Okay, but Thomas Hagen named several other people that he said were there. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and play that clip right now.
Personal frailties were played upon. Jealousy arose, and Malcolm was ultimately ousted from that organization. This caused an intense climate of rivalry that set the stage for Malcolm's assassination in February of 1965.
He was really declared a hypocrite at the time. And because of some of the things that he was saying in regards to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, may God be pleased with him, a strong position was really taken against him. The ministers began to speak out against the things that Malcolm was saying in regards to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, accusations that he had made about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He had accused the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, for instance, of fathering children and etc. And you must understand that at that time, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, to the Muslims then, was held in such high reverence as you would even think of any prophet being held in high reverence. And this is the kind of love and admiration that Muslims at that time had for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So when Minister Malcolm began to say those things, it was taken as an outright lie. And that he was actually castigating and defaming, actually, the messenger. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was known at that time as the messenger of God. That was the title he used. And for those who followed him, that is what he was accepted as at that time. You see.
Were there any actual words that you heard?
Now check it out. Watch how he admit to who the real killers were.
Ministers suggesting that his life.
This was the actual trigger man. This the man that was caught outside and they beat up.
I would say that, take for instance, one time in the Muhammad Speaks at that time, the newspaper printed a big article concerning the chief hypocrite. And it actually had a picture of Malcolm's head, rolling or bouncing down the street at that time. And, the way that picture is depicted, he has little horns on his head and things like this here. So, indirectly, I would say that a very, very strong position was taken against him.
Yes, he's immoral. You can't take 9 teenage women and seduce them and give them babies and not tell me you're and then tell me you're moral. You could do it if you admitted you did it and admitted that the babies were yours. I'd shake your hand and call you a man. A good one, too.
But anytime you seduce teenage girls and make them be charged with adultery, make them hide your crime, why, you're not even a man, much less a divine man. So, and this is what he did. He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself. Yes, that's why he wanted me dead, because he knew that as soon as I woke up...
You made some gross claims, family.
Plan of action was basically...
You made some gross claims.
What took place. Me and Leon took seats down in the front of the Autobahn. We came early. We would drift into the Autobahn. If indeed there was a search, then he could never enter. There was no search, so we drifted in just like we had hoped to. Leon Davis and myself took seats down front on the left-hand side. Benjamin and William, who carried the sort of shotgun, sat right behind us, you know. And Wilbur sat somewhat in the back, or almost in the middle. And our plan was, as soon as the brother came out to speak, that Wilbur would throw the smoke bomb to make a distraction, and that William would fire his shotgun, and that Leon and myself, we would fire our weapons, and then just break for the door.
So, dear family, just as I'm explaining, your boy Thomas Hagen admitted he's the actual trigger man who was caught. If you've seen the movie Malcolm X, if you've seen the Malcolm X movie, and you see the dude that basically got whooped all the way down the stairs, all the way outside, and the brothers was on him, and the police had to basically snatch him out of the people's arms because they was whooping him so bad. That's who that is. You know what I mean? Out of the Malcolm X movie. He was the actual trigger man who's basically said that the 2 actual members that were in the Nation of Islam were innocent. So I want all the viewers to go to Tommy Sotomayor. I want all the viewers to go to Young Pharaoh and Sara Suten Seti and ask them, why don't they ever do a video talking about Thomas Hagen? Why don't they ever do a video talking about William Bradley and the other people that were actually there who committed the actual murder? Ask them why they don't never do a video talking about the FBI, the COINTELPRO, and the CIA that had Brother Malcolm X followed and wiretapped wherever he went. You know what I'm saying? Who actually orchestrated his assassination. Ask these individuals if they are really for black people and they care about the people. Ask them those questions and stop giving the viewers a one-sided biased view of what happened to Malcolm. Okay? That's the problem with us as black people, that we are personality worshipers. We have we so in love with the personality of Brother Malcolm as if he could do no wrong, as if the brother was perfect, and the brother was not perfect. Okay? Tommy Sotomayor, even mentioned Betty Shabazz and their daughters. Okay, he said, what about them? Okay, well, we feel for our sisters. You know what I mean? We never wanted that for those sisters. Okay? And then they know that the Nation of Islam and the minister didn't have brother assassinated. So let me go ahead and show you a clip from the daughter.
Been called to testify. Did you try to talk to Gene Roberts on the stand?
I do not recall whether I ever talked to Gene Roberts or not, or who Gene Roberts is. I do not know who Gene Roberts is.
Isn't all of this material to an understanding? If you are defending a man on trial for his life,
that's right,
and there's an undercover cop there.
On February 24th, 1965, Pinto was shot at very close range in a driveway while waiting for the gate to open. he was with his daughter in his car at the time of the killing.
After Malcolm X came back from Mecca, that's when things started to get a lot more tense and a lot more, crazy in terms of his home life. Now, I remember your mother had done an interview where she said that, before the actual assassination, that there were 3 different attempts on your father's life. Now, was that accurate?
If that's what she said, that was accurate.
Okay.
If that's what she said. Again, the attempts, it wasn't because of something that was going on between the nation. It was because he had gained the support of 33 heads of African, states, and their agenda was to bring the issue of human rights violations to the Supreme Court at the United Nations. And so he was killed shortly after.
Come on.
As were a few other people.
Okay, because
talk to him,
sister. He mentioned was that when he was in Mecca, he was being watched,
right,
and he was being followed, and
right,
he felt that it was by the CIA.
Right.
Do you think that's what happened?
Well, I wasn't there, but I believe whatever my father says.
Yeah.
And so his point was that he wasn't being followed by the Nation of Islam.
Okay. So have any of them ever tried to reach out to apologize or anything?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. And there are also some, like if you Google Razak, what is it? Oh gosh, I can't remember. Abdul Razak, who his former name was James 67X, was my father's secretary. I'm on Twitter. I think I might have tweeted something about him. And he always says who the real triggermen were, and that they weren't in the Nation of Islam, and that they worked for, different entities. And
Abdul Razak began to ask his own questions about the assassination. He was there when it happened and says he never saw.
Come on, we're gonna expose the truth
in the ballroom, nor did anyone else.
Nobody of the hundreds of people in the Audubon ballroom, many of whom had been in the Nation of Islam, right? Nobody identified this brother as having been in the Audubon ballroom. Now that's impossible. There was supposed to be friction between those of us who were in the OAU and the Muslim Mosque and the Nation of Islam, right? That Malcolm had left. Several days up for the execution of Malcolm X.
And you knew that he wasn't there because you saw the gun.
As sure as God made green apples that he was not there, but strange things can happen. So I went to everyone who was in the nation, who had been in the nation and was now in the Muslim Mosque or the OAAU, and I said, did you see Thomas? No. Did you see Thomas? No. Now Reuben Francis, who was arrested for shooting Talmadge Hayer, must have seen the people who were running out of the Audubon ballroom, right? He never testified that Thomas was there. Benjamin 2X Goodman, the late Benjamin 2X Goodman, or Benjamin Kareem, was on the rostrum. He knew everyone that was in the nation. He could not identify Thomas as having been there. As a matter of fact, he said he wasn't there.
So yes, family, we back again, okay? And so family, so now our sister explained. She verified what Dick Gregory said. Dick Gregory said that Malcolm X wasn't killed because he had beef with the Nation of Islam. Both of them, Malcolm X's daughter and brother Dick Gregory, just explained that the reason why brother Malcolm was killed is because he got with a brother named Payo Gama de Pinto. Okay, and he transformed Malcolm from black nationalist to Pan-Africanist and introduced him to some of the heads over there in the East, some of the main people over there in the East, and they were going to take racism and basically violations against humanity to the he was going to take violation rights to the UN, okay? And right when Brother Malcolm X was murdered, right when he was assassinated, 3 days later, Payo Gama de Pinto was assassinated in his car in his driveway with his daughter right there in the passenger seat of the car. So Dick Gregory tells you that was bigger than what the nation can do and what the Muslims can do. That after Malcolm get knocked, then de Pinto get knocked 3 days later. Okay. So why don't, that's what I'm saying, family. Go to these people. Go to Tommy Sotomayor. Go to Sara Suten Seti. Go to young Pharoah and ask them, why don't y'all go after the people who were actually involved? Why don't y'all do videos on them? Why are y'all only coming after the nation? Why are y'all blaming the minister for all this? And then thank you, dear brother, then you use our sisters, Betty Shabazz's pain and her hurt against the Nation of Islam. Okay? Brother Tommy Sotomayor played a video yesterday basically showing Sister Betty Shabazz and how she believed that the minister had her husband killed. Okay? How she believed that her husband had that brother killed. Okay? But did the brother play this clip for you as well right here when she met up with the minister at the Apollo Theater back in the day when they made amends? Did he play this video?
15 children. See, I said that so the 15 would sound less. Taught them to do so. I don't know what I would have done without the Sutton family, because it has not been easily. Finally, I would like to thank Mr. Louis Farrakhan, or you know him as Minister Farrakhan, for his original gentle words of assurance for my daughter and myself and her sisters, and for his suggestion of support. As he said, we will have to help Brother Malcolm's family. I like the way he said that, and I hope that he continues to see my husband as Brother Malcolm. A man born of a Grenadian mother and a Southern black preacher father who was a Garveyite. A man who built every house he's ever lived in. A man who was a family man. Malcolm was 6 years old when his father was found under a streetcar in Detroit, Michigan. Boy, boy, boy. Let me just say that, I know. Malcolm was a good man. Now, if you don't think so, obviously you've been hearing something that you should not have been hearing. Malcolm went into that movement out of prison with 4 mosques made up of senior citizens. And before he was expelled exposed from that movement, there was a mosque in every major city in the United States and outside of the United States. For God's sake, don't take away his work and his legacy. He spent time away from his family that he should have been with his family. And now, don't reduce his work to nothing. Whatever discipline I have, which is not much, came from Malcolm, not my mother. Whatever strength I have came from Malcolm, not my mother. Whatever tolerance and love of my people came from Malcolm. I was reared like most folks going through public schools with not much respect for myself or black people. So that I have Malcolm to thank. How could I have 6 kids and go to graduate school, and every other month they were going to foreclose on the house, and my kids was in school, and the car note, and the food, and the this, and the that, and the other? How could I do that if I didn't have some of his wisdom? How could I have nothing and still consider it a responsibility to help others? I can remember Mr. Sutton and his brother, who called me into the office once and said, you know, why didn't you tell us they were going to foreclose on your house and take your house? Why didn't you tell us? Well, we have decided, he said, that we're going to help you. And I started crying. He said, why are you crying? I said, because you all are so kind. He says, he really is a businessman. Those tears dried up. He said, my dear, we're not helping you out of kindness, but it is much easier to help you rather than to have to take care of you. Minister Farrakhan, may the God of our forefathers forever guide you on your journey. May your conceptual framework keeps broadening, and may you take up the mantle and do God's work. May the God of our forefathers always guide us. Thank you.
So, dear family, it's shameful. It should be, you should feel bad for yourself to constantly keep resurrecting the Malcolm X Nation of Islam beef. Okay? Because it's not necessarily hurting the nation and the minister, man. Y'all doing this to the family. Every time Malcolm's daughters come out in the media or in public, you know, people got to keep asking them, you know, did the nation do this? Did the minister do this? And they just want to move on with their lives. I just played a clip where one of the daughters said that it wasn't the Nation of Islam. And let me ask a common sense question to the viewers. You know what I'm saying? And I hope this gets the Tommy Sotomayor, young Pharoah, Sara Suten Seti. Let me ask a common sense question. Now, if somebody killed or murdered or assassinated your spouse, you know what I'm saying? If somebody killed, assassinated, murdered your spouse, your husband, your wife, or even one of your relatives, and you knew it deep down in your hearts of hearts that this is the individual who cause or was the reason why my loved one was killed or murdered. You know what I'm saying? Would you stand on the stage with them? You know what I'm saying? Would you meet up with them? Would you stand in photos with them? Like the minister has a photo with one of Malcolm X's daughters at Aretha Franklin's funeral? Come on, man. As much as y'all show hatred and enmity and envy towards your brothers in the Nation of Islam and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, you can't tell me that you would be seen in a photo with somebody who murdered one of your loved ones. If you really felt that deep down in your heart, you wouldn't be seen on the stage with an individual who you felt that killed one of your loved ones. So why do all of you try to continue to propagate the lie that the enemy created? And that's the problem, because I listened to Tommy Sotomayor's broadcast, and it sounded like to me the brother has a Willie Lynch problem. You know, he always talking about the light skin versus the dark skin, you know, and he always mentions how basically, like the brother said in his most recent video about the minister and the Nation of Islam, the brother was basically like, okay, basically saying it's far-fetched for the white man to try to come in between black people and try to compare us and say, well, damn, well, you'll never hear no stories of us black people going against white people, turning white people against each other. Like that type of behavior is beneath them. And the problem is the brother don't know the white man's nature. You know what I'm saying? We in the Nation of Islam understands his nature. You know what I'm saying? Why did we run Yaqub and his maid devil from the root of civilization? Because he came among the righteous people telling lies. Yaqub gave these devils technology. So they come among the righteous people creating mischief and bloodshed, telling lies on other original people and have us fighting and killing one another. They did this so we marched their behinds in the caves, in the hillsides of Europe, because they did this. Okay? And this is their nature to do this. But the problem is, Tommy Sotomayor, you don't know your nature and you don't know the enemy's nature. So you think it's beneath the enemy to try to get between two opposing factions between black people and try to drive a wedge even further. See? So basically everything that you saying, brother, you speaking out of ignorance. You know what I'm saying? You speaking out of ignorance and you really making a fool of yourself because you are actually embarrassing the family. Young Pharoah, Sara Suten Seti, Tommy Sotomayor, you're actually embarrassing Malcolm's family. You are disgracing their family when every time you resurrect the Malcolm X stuff, because we have actual facts, we have actual documents, and we have actual testimony. We have actual testimony of people proving and vindicating the Nation of Islam. But all you do is speculate and assume. Show the people actual proof and evidence that the Nation of Islam took this brother's life. And we'll submit. We'll submit if you have any proof that's greater than what we can present, and then we will submit. Just like the minister said in previous lectures, challenging the government to release all the FBI documents. As a matter of fact, he did it in that meeting when he met with Sister Betty Shabazz at the Apollo Theater, challenging them to release all the files so we can get rid of all doubt and suspicion. All you dudes are conspiracy theorists feeding off the people, feeding off the fear and the doubt of the people just to get likes, shares, subscribers, and donations. So with that, dear family, I know it's late. Man, I thank you. I love you all so much for joining on to this video. I had to redo it because the audio was not too fly. So I had to kind of tweak the audio so everything could play right in the echoing. So thank you for jumping on the chat. You know what I'm saying? Let me know that you riding with the nation. Man, you know we love you. We appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? And until next time, if I gotta come back out and do another video with Tommy Sotomayor or whoever, you know what I'm saying? Come to the source. I want to talk to these brothers directly, face to face. I want to talk to these individuals personally. You know what I'm saying? Go in these dudes' chats and ask them the same questions that I'm asking. It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? Put the pressure on these dudes. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. We can't let these dudes constantly get away and get off the hook, because as much as they want to talk about the minister and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam, we did this and we did that to Brother Malcolm, but you let the actual trigger man, Thomas Hagen, get away. You let the actual FBI agent, Gene Roberts, get away, and everybody else that was involved. Y'all don't do no videos on the actual people who killed the brother, but y'all want to do videos on your own brother. So y'all got a lot of nerve and a lot of balls to try to fight your own brothers, but you scared of the enemy. Y'all scared to bang on the real beast though. You know what I'm saying? Y'all scared to get at that white man though, but y'all want to try to turn the tables on us. But we are peaceful people. You know what I mean? You can come to us. So with that being said, dear family, I would like to greet you all as I came with the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Class A, Class C, mobbing through your city and we mob D. Trunk full of work in the back seat, on the front lines in the back streets. Yeah, we riding for the nation, getting in for the nation. Yeah, we riding for the nation. Muhammad, that's the occupation. I'm a 54 baby, 27 they raised me. Brought up in the 80s, round narcotic and dating. Mr. Trip on the agent, run up on him and fade him. No love for a hypocrite, 187 on stage. MOY is an army, better yet a navy. Suit and ties the garment, hella wavy. Recruiting ready in the land, shooting, airing out the ones like a Black Panther. On my Cam Newton, on the corners getting bands up. Work fly, work trying up, suicide. Kirk up, squad ain't for test unless you ready to see the Lord, homie. We bout that star and crescent flag with the sword on it. Class A, Class C, mobbing through your city and we mob D. Trunk full of work in the back seat, on the front lines in the back streets. Yeah, we riding for the nation, getting in for the nation. Yeah, we riding for the nation. Muhammad, that's the occupation.
J-O-E, moving like Moses in my Levi. Old school it costs Adidas. We fly, dab dude, you're born knee highs. Used to pass up 42 on 17th in the G-Ride. In that old school Nelly, E.I. Go Jesus, G-High, East Side. Introduced to the truth, now I'm all in. May I enter Muhammad's rank, fall in. FOI manual. Blessed with fresh boat from Bro Daniel. Stacy boots, no sandals. Pushing truth, no scandal. Hopping out coops, no camels. Concrete junk, sounding off trumpets by the park bench. Bunch of black park Kents out of dark tents. Max Paul, Muhammad, Farrakhan's, Elijah's, FOI riders, nation.
Class A, Class C, mobbing through your city and we mob D. Trunk full of work in the back seat, on the front lines in the back streets. Yeah, we riding for the nation, getting in for the nation. Yeah, we riding for the nation. Muhammad, that's the occupation.
This is the N-A-T-I-O-N-F-I-S-L-A-M, flow. Everywhere I go, everywhere I'm at. That's the title, so it's vital that I carry that. Asking my rider, yeah, I'm buried at. Maybe too much of it. Haters can't compare to that, and baby, you just love it. Can't get enough of it. Hustles in the fruit quotes. And trying to see my muscles through the soup coat. Yeah, ain't no glucose, that ain't what this fruit mean. Foes get too close, you gon' see the routine. To the blue team, brother, stay too clean. Ballin' with the final call, and I don't need a hoop dream. More like an 85 vision, 10K into the fullest in the hood where the bullets whizzing. It's understood in the prison and the streets. We living in the last day, so we gotta bring the heats in the
Class A, Class C, mobbing through your city and we mob D. Trunk full of work in the back seat, on the front lines in the back streets. Yeah, we riding for the nation, getting in for the nation. Yeah, we riding for for the nation. Muhammad, that's the occupation.